Allah says in the Quran, their saying is that our advice is the foundation of our prayer. Whatever we do, all advice is around us, which is the foundation on which we build all our actions. So today, let's talk a little bit about advice, especially when it comes to the topic of being able to maintain it, whether it's intention or something new, which is one of the most important things in prayer. And God willing, we will talk about it, as we usually try to talk about a story in the Quran where we can learn something from it, as far as what Allah is talking about in the Quran. So let's talk about prayer. Qaza and other prayers. The meaning of Qaza prayer is to do something at a time that is not passing, meaning to do it at the right time or to fulfill that responsibility. The meaning of Qaza is that you are fulfilling that responsibility. But after that time has passed, there is another thing called afdima. Now this means that you know that something is obligatory, but you do not know how much or what is obligatory. You know that something is obligatory, but you do not know how much or how much part of it is. So these are the three definitions to keep in mind when I talk about Qaza prayer. So Qaza prayer is basically number one, which is called daily formal prayer. So the meaning of daily formal prayers is when you are deprived of a prayer, whether it is knowingly, unknowingly, or due to ignorance. Or you deprive it of sleep, you pray, and this prayer becomes a war. And then time passes, and then you have to read the Qaza prayer. There are also other prayers for which we need to prepare as Qaza prayers. So one of them is called Bilaya. In every prayer, there is actually no prayer for Qaza. So this is a part that we need to know. However, the prayer of Namaz-e-Ayat, especially when the topic of lunar eclipse comes up, here a Qaza prayer is made. If you feel its absence, for example, after April 8th, a solar eclipse is going to happen, which will be very noticeable. So on that day, you will have to take the name of Ayat. But for example, if you remember it, then the next second prayer is still there that you have to make it. However, based on the reasons the second prayers related to Namaz-e-Ayat, such as earthquakes or such things, it is not necessary to fulfill the prayer of Qaza. But especially when it comes to lunar eclipse, it is also recommended that if you're doing something else, I am going to pray for Nasla at a special time, and you remember it. For example, if you're deprived of this prayer, then you will have to fulfill the prayer of Qaza. Now, who is Qaza? Not wajib. Okay? In what condition or who is it? Not a number. There is someone who is mentally incapable of doing it. For example,